Amen. So I'm going to need your help to do that. We're going to do a number of series of webinars and Facebook Lives and Periscopes. Hey, if you don't follow me on social media, you should follow me. You are missing out. Amen. I ain't just missing out. I have a good time on social media. But we're going to give away to 10,000 people, and I want you guys to be blessed by it. So I'm excited about it. It's been a work that I've worked on for a while, and we're grateful to God for it. Can you put your hands together for our praise team? Amen. When I preach, I get real sensitive, and I don't want to look over my shoulder. I think that might be somebody. I'm trying to stop me. All right, so thank you. They did a phenomenal job. We're grateful to God for that. My wife, amen. Can we celebrate God? August is going to be a dynamic month. We're starting a new teaching series this month. I'm excited about it. It is called The Courage to Continue. The Courage to Continue. It's definitely imperative that you take good copious notes throughout the month. Get the insight and information that we're going to share. If you praise real good, I'll start giving out my sermon notes. Amen. You might not be able to read them, but that's okay. I'll give them out. But I will encourage when you sit up under any type of preaching, not just mine, but any type of word that God is releasing over your life. You want to be able to go back and cross-reference and pray into it, grapple for it, intercede for it. And with technology, you can do phones, tablets, and everything in between. One final announcement that we just locked in on yesterday, and me and Frankie and Brittany, we're working on a project that we're going to host for Labor Day weekend. For Labor Day weekend, we're going to have, what is his name? Sean C. Johnson. Amen. Labor Day weekend here. He is a gospel, jazz, neo-soul artist, and he is coming to do a free concert on September the 2nd, which is Labor Day weekend. Please, let's pack the place out. It's going to be a phenomenal time, and I'm excited about it. So if you see that flyer on Facebook, please share it, because it's going to be a great time, and I'm excited about that. That's for any and everybody, not just our young adults, but anybody who would like to come out for a free event. Right there on Labor Day weekend, let's come together and have a good time. Amen? Amen. All right, so we're working this month on the courage to continue. I'm excited about it. I'll be laboring and preaching this word from the perspective of the strength and the grace to keep going. Amen? The strength and the grace to keep going. All right, 1 Samuel is where I'm lifting up. I'll be at chapter 30. We're going to walk and talk from verse number 1 until I get tired. Amen. So y'all just have to follow along. Amen. Y'all did not say amen. Okay. Stop. Amen. First Samuel, amen, the 30th chapter, and I will stop then. Let's see. I will stop at verse number 8. Is that okay? I'll stop at verse number 8. All right, we're going to read. I'll be lifting up the New International Version. You can follow me with whatever translation that you have. 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter, first verse. I'll be reading down through the first verse through the 8th verse. I feel so charged to pray and prophesy that I'm trying to preach, because that would sometimes get in the way. But I have a word of the Lord for some of you today, and I'm going to share it. And I'm excited about it. I pray that it blesses you. Our 9 a.m. service was awesome. People of God were blessed by it, and it's growing. I am grateful to God. Hallelujah. Our 9 a.m. service is growing. I know my leaders are. Hallelujah. Amen. My leaders have to come for 9 and 11. So I am grateful to God that it's growing. It's beginning to have its own congregation. Amen. People that choose the 9 a.m. opportunity. Amen. You continue to come at 11. Amen. But for people who would like to come to service a little bit early and enjoy the rest of their day, that's what 9 a.m. offers. So I'm excited about it. It's beginning to come into its own. So I'll be lifting up 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. I'll be reading from the first verse down through the 8th verse. And I'll be lifting up the New International Version. And we are ministering from the courage to continue. The courage to continue. David and his men reached Ziklag on the 3rd day. Now the Amalekites had raided the Negev at Ziklag. They had attacked Ziklag and burned it, and had taken captive the women and everyone else in it. both young and old. So then we see David is coming back home. His town has been raided, up under attack, and his opponent, his enemy, has stolen everything, women, children, boys, and girls. The B part of the second verse says, they killed none of them, but carried them off as they went on their way. When David and his men reached Ziklag, they found it destroyed by fire, and their wives and sons and daughters taken captive. So David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. David's two wives says David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Verse 7 says, and David said to Abiathar the priest, the son of Amalek, bring me the ephod. The ephod was his priestly garment. Amen. Abiathar brought it to him, and David inquired of the Lord, meaning he sought out the Lord. Shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? Pursue them, he answered. You will certainly overtake them. Hallelujah. And succeed in the rescue. We're going to talk about this morning the courage to continue. The courage to continue. Touch two people and say, you can keep going.
You can keep going.
Touch two people. You only said it once. Touch two people and said, you can keep going. The large portion of my life, right here in North Richmond, I played Little League sports. Playing in Little League sports. Football and track and basketball. I favored basketball more than any of them. And in playing basketball, there's a lot of different ways that you learn. Of course, organized sports are different than sometimes, just playing in the park or playing a pickup game of ball. But there's a couple of parallel things that happen, whether it's on a gym floor with an organized sport organization or whether it's on the playground or blacktop. And a couple of those things are strategies of how to win the game. Whether you're playing in the playground or playing in the gym, there's always a strategy that you have to be able to win the game. One thing that I learned about basketball is that unlike football, basketball, you have no pads, you have no helmet, you have no buffer in between you or your opponent. So any time that you take a hit in basketball is different than football. In football, you can take a hit and your pads will embrace the blow, or your helmet will embrace the blow. Your pads and your legs will embrace the blow. But in basketball, if you get hit by your opponent, you feel body-to-body contact with no buffer. Somebody say no buffer. So what I've learned in basketball is that you have to be a little bit tough. You got to be strong. You got to be able to carry the weight of not just yourself, but sometimes your opponent, because in playing basketball, it's just as physical as football, but the physicality of basketball without pads is sometimes more damaging to the body. So one thing that happens in basketball is that it's called a foul. Everybody knows what a foul is, right? It's a violation of play. That's an impediment for progress that sometimes an adversary, the opponent, who you're playing against, will physically hit you with the mindset to stop you from scoring. So anytime that you're trying to go into forward progress to score a basket or to score a goal, your adversary, your opponent, or the other team will do at times what's called a foul. And there's personal fouls and there's technical fouls. Personal fouls have different type of, reprimanding than technical fouls. A personal foul, you can get hit, and depending on what you were doing during the process of you trying to advance your basketball, you might get a chance to shoot a free throw, or you might just get the ball. A technical foul, when it's more fragrant, when it's more harder, there's a different type of approach to that, because with technical fouls and fragrant fouls, there's a different type of response that the referees have to give because of the severity of the blow. And even under the sound of my voice today, most of you right now are dealing with an opponent that has violations against you and fouls against you and are using abrasive measures to stop down forward progress in your life. And as you're trying to advance your family, as you're trying to advance your goals, as you're trying to get to the place where God has called you to be, the enemy has a job to buffet you. And as much as we would want our path to be straight, and we just want to frolic through the flowers and just sit back and drink sweet tea and just have a good time as we walk in God, you need to understand that you're going to go through some pain that you're going to have to prevail through, that the enemy is going to throw against you. So in basketball, when you are dribbling the ball and you are pursuing to score a bucket and your opponent fouls you, you have an opportunity that if you keep going and the motion of your body is towards making the shot and you still shoot the ball, you can capitalize off making the bucket. And they said because you have endured that hardship or that blow will allow you to have continuation. Somebody say continuation. Continuation is that if you can continue through the blow that the opponent gives you and score the bucket, or even if you don't score the bucket, we're going to give you what's called an and one. Now, most of you have not played basketball before, and it's okay. Please don't start today if you're not physically inclined. Just take my word for it. If you go and you make the shot, the system, the policies and procedures in the NBA and every organized sport says that if you make the shot, we're going to give you one shot. We're going to give you a free throw that what was actually accumulated at 2 points because you endured the foul or the violation, we're going to give you a free shot to make it 3. And then thereafter, if you're behind the 3-point line and you shoot the ball and they foul you, you actually have the opportunity to make what's called a 4-point play. But here's the critical thing of the thing. When you're playing basketball and you're hit, and the adversary hits you with a blow, they foul you. What takes place is when you shoot the ball and you make it, there's a sound from the player. There's a declaration from the player that's rehearsed from organized sports to the NBA to backyard ball in the playground. And that sound is, watch this, and one. Y'all quiet in here, you'll get it in just a second. When you go through strains and struggles and buffeted, but you have the spirit to continue, the grace to continue, the courage to continue, you'll be able to announce to the enemy what was only supposed to give me 2, because God's giving me the courage to continue. I'm going to pick up another one and remind you that I got and one. And means that I was only deserving of this, but because of my fight to keep going, I'm going to get this. And one means I was only supposed to get 3 points when I shot it from the 3-point line, but I'm going to get 4 because of my tenacity, because of my fight, because of my hunger, because of my conditioning. See, now listen, this is the critical piece of the puzzle. When you're practicing in basketball or organized sport, you don't practice just off the pretty. You don't practice just off the nice little layup. You don't practice trying to run down the court looking all cool, looking all cute. They have what's called trainers, and these trainers have these pads, and time after time again, you got to run, and they condition you to learn how to make the shot while taking a hit. Players over here, you are conditioned and trained to dribble the ball, jump, take a blow, still capitalize, gain victory, come back down, and get an extra shot. See, this ain't for the people who just want the easy path, but this is for people who have been trained and skilled and disciplined to know that I'm fighting an opponent that in the same way that I've conditioned myself, they've conditioned themselves. They want me to lose, I need to win, and the only way that I'm going to gain victory and be able to capitalize off an extra is that I persevere to continue. God's trying to give you an inner fortitude today that what you do for the public was only rehearsed behind closed doors. When you were private, when you were by yourself, he said, I'll answer the prayers in public for what you talk to me about in your prayer closet. But the problem with the saints now, we want the jersey, we want #1, we got all these demands and all these things we want. I need ice water, I want Gatorade, I want my contract to look like this, and as soon as you get on the court, you twist your ankle, you're out for the season, we done put all this money into you, we thought you was going to be the #1 draft pick, and you turned out to be a bust because you fooled us. It was fugazi, you was being fake, and the entire time we thought you was going to be the next Jordan, and you gave up the ghost before you got started. to me. Y'all sit there. There's a grace that comes with you when you learn how to continue while being hit. Now, we want to be able to make the shot and look pretty. We want to be able to cross somebody up and break angles and then turn around like Steph Curry and know that we make it. But how many of you know at times when you get down to the nitty gritty of your life, you're going to have to do a couple head fakes. You're going to have to do a couple fake outs. Listen, you ain't strengthened like you need to be. You ain't strong as your opponent. And when you can't do it with strength, you got to do it with strategy. And you only get strategy in the face of the Lord. You only get strategy sitting up under the right preacher. You only get strategy when you begin to discipline yourself. You can't be eating donuts and bonbons and milkshakes and talking about, I'm going to be the next best thing. No, you're not. You're you're fooling yourself. You're going to have to get into a regimented lifestyle that says, I got to be better. I got to do more. I got to stay in the gym longer. I got to shoot 1,000 shots a day. I got to get 1,000 rebounds a day. I got to be pushed and still prevail. Because I know there's going to be a coming day when there's only 5 seconds left on the clock, and that ain't the time that I buckle at the knees, but that's the time when I got my whole team on my back, and they looking for me to win, they looking for me to capitalize, and I can't have that donut to rise up when my name is about to be called. Listen, I was looking at a documentary this week, and there was a player who no longer plays in the NBA. He said before the game, he walked into the gym and he saw Kobe Bryant. He asked the trainer, how long has he been in here? He said, Kobe's been in here for the last 4 hours, shooting shots. They said, he's about to leave though. So as Kobe was walking out, the guy was walking in. They spoke. Kobe turned back around, went back in the gym and began to shoot. So the guy said, I did my workout and I left. He said, when I left, I was trying to figure out if I was Kobe leaving, but then going back in. He said he talked to Kobe later on after the game. He said, yo, dude, why did you turn back around and start shooting when I came in? He said, because I saw you coming in. The dude looked perplexed, like, what do you mean? You saw me coming in. He said, I had to outlast my opponent. He said, champions, I have to blow this, I'm not going to blow. He said champions have to condition themselves to outlast their opponent. He said the only reason I stayed in the shot more shots is because you came in the gym. And because I'm a champion. Because I know what victory feels like. I'm going to have to discipline myself when nobody's looking. I'm going to have to go a little bit harder when nobody's measuring me. I'm going to have an inner fortitude that says, you know what? Quitters don't quit. I can't give up. I'm not throwing in the towel. I got to stay in the gym a little bit longer. I got to press a little bit longer. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this so you can see me, but I'm doing this because I know victory is within our reach. And when you have not had success in a long period of time, when you have not had victory in a long period of time, you're going to have to spend more time in prayer. You're going to have to spend more time in intercession, because what God's about to do in your life is going to be a total rescue of everything that you lost, a total rescue of everything that the enemy stole, a total rescue of your dreams, a rescue of your destiny. Open your mouth today and begin to decree and declare that I'm going to get everything that the enemy has stolen from me, my children, my family, my loved ones. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm a natural born champion. Listen, there was a phenomenon of a man, all 7 feet, 300 pounds, named Shaquille O'Neal. Came into the league. When he came into the league, it started a whole type of ripple effect in how basketball was played. Come on. And this ripple effect was his dominance, his strength, his grandeur had not been seen in the NBA in all of his day. He was unstoppable in nature, breaking backboards. They had to literally change the strengthening mechanisms of backboards, because when he would come into the league and dunk, he would break backboards, knock people down. It was just a force to be reckoned with. So they realized that even Superman has kryptonite. Come on. You see, you need to understand that your opponent is studying you more than you're strategizing and studying your success. And you ain't willing to confront the thing that you don't do well. So the enemy is going to sit there and just pay attention to your fallacies, to your mistakes, to the little foxes that are eating away at your vine. And he's going to sit there and study tape. He's going to look at the records. He's going to look at your past games. And he's going to find out a loophole. He's going to find out an open door. I know she blessed. I know he blessed. I know they like to jump and shout around the church. But what I realized after I studied them, that's just a facade. Oh, yeah. They actually being fake. Yeah. And see, your enemy is very strategic in studying you and knowing what you do well and what you don't do well. So as the enemy is looking at the tapes of your life, it sees how you jump on Sunday. He sees how you run victory laps on Sunday. But he sees how you cuss people out on Monday. He sees how you cut people off on Tuesday. And he's studying that. And he's realizing if I could just get them in this environment, if I can get them in this condition, if I can get them in this place, I can get them to cuss, I can get them to turn back, I can get them to sin. And they begin to study Shaquille O'Neal's game. They realize that Superman had a kryptonite. And that kryptonite was free throw. Come on! So what would take place is this. They started what's called Hacker Shack. Hacker Shack was, we're going to foul you, we're going to hit you, and we're going to hit you hard, and we're going to damage your forward progress in trying to score a goal. We don't even care if you score the goal, but we're going to hit you so hard that when you do even score the goal, whether you do it or not, we know that you can't shoot field goals. So watch this, because he never strengthened himself at the free throw line, because he never got stronger in that area. It was a strategy that the enemy was able to put into place that said, I don't care how much he dunks, I don't care how good he's at this, I don't care if he breaks another backboard, I don't care if he keeps doing all of that. One thing we need to do is get him out of his little comfortable place, get him out of his familiar surroundings, and put him on that free throw line. We can beat him if we get him to the free throw line. And once he gets to the free throw line, we know he's going to miss. We know he's not going to make it. Why? Because he never addressed his weaknesses. So the whole dynamics of how they approach this man, how the game was played, changed based off of him. Could it be, saints of God, I would like to submit to you today, that the enemy's not after your strengths? Come on. No, he's not after what you like to decorate your resume with. Amen. Proficient in this. Come on now. Skilled at that. Come on now. Good at this. You can ban that type of Word document without spell check. Come on now. You got the audacity to say, you're good at this, and I can do Excel, and I can do this. You throw all those qualities out there. But the truth of the matter is, there's another you. That's really not as skilled as you think you are. And the enemy recognizes how you like to embellish a little bit. Come on. How you like to show your pride off a little bit. The enemy's just paying attention to that. And a good compliment can pull some of y'all out of Christ. I mean, if you trace back the 5 years you was in that bad relationship, that joker met you on Broad Street. And the only thing he said to you was, you look good today. I mean, is it that easy? Your hair look nice. Oh, this right here, you know. This is what I really, you know, I ain't, you had a t-shirt and sweatpants on. And a little bonnet. And you didn't even recognize the fact your hair was covered. It was just a fallacy. It opens door in your spirit. And begin to be applying that thing, and it stole 6 months from your life. 3 years of your life. Go back and take pictures down off of Instagram and Facebook. You went from in a relationship to it's complicated to single and all of this stuff in a matter of 12 months, and people trying to figure out what's going on in your life, and the doorway was something small. We see the text today. It lifts up that David was on his way back from battle, one of the greatest victories of his life. And as he was on his way back, his home was Ziklag. And as he came to Ziklag, they realized that they were raided by an opponent. And when they got raided by this opponent, the opponent burned the city down, took their wives, and took their sons, and took their daughters. Here's the critical piece of the puzzle. That after great success, you don't let your guards down.
That's right. Come on.
That's when you pray. We pray into things and get comfortable when it happens.
Yeah.
Christ had great success, and then we'll go up the mountain and pray.
Hallelujah.
You need to learn strategy as it pertains to intercession. That oh Jesus, because we haven't had manifestation.
Come on.
We think the leveraging point of our prayer is to make God do something for us.
Come on.
So what happens is we pray earnestly, God do it, God pull me out. How many of you know that you already have the victory? You're already out. Your prayer has to be attached to the preparation of God, the continuation of God, the perpetual blessing that He's assigned to your life. You don't need prayer for what He's going to do. You need to pray to steward over what He's already done. Because if that old you comes into this new season, it'll only be short-lived. You'll only have it for a couple of months. But how many of you know that the blessing of God needs to be sustained in your life? It needs to be durable to your life. It needs to be attachments to your life. That when you come out, you don't ever go back. That's the fear that some of us have, that when we come out, we might go back. And if we don't get this right, God's mad at us and He's going to push us back. Not so. When you begin to come out and you begin to do the thing that God's called you to do and walk in obedience and righteousness, you never are broke again. You never deal with poverty again. You're never sick again. It may come in and try to attack, but as long as your ears are inclined to heaven, you'll always have a strategy that they won't be able to see. The Bible declares that David came home and they cried so loud, they were so bitter, they were so hurt that they didn't have the strength to get up. They were hurting, they were mad. All of his team were murmuring and complaining. They were sad. And then a meme used to go out. A DM went in people's inbox and it says, you know what we need to do? We need to kill David. This is all his fault. We were out here fighting this and we was out here gaining success over here, but our home was a wreck. You ain't gonna say amen, but that's most of y'all in this room right now. You come to church and you jump. You come to church and you shout. You love the environment and the atmosphere, but all hell is breaking loose at your address. All hell is breaking loose in your family. And God's trying to bring a measure of balance to your life. That the same God that you shout about here at church on Sunday morning is the same God that shows up at your address. And let me prophesy to you today that everything and anything that's not like God under your house and under your roof is going to leave by the time you get there. I'm trying to tell you today, you will have peace when you sleep. You will have peace when you walk around. You ain't going to be under no type of warfare. You ain't going to be under no type of stress. You ain't going to have to keep arguing. You can open the door and say, everything up under this roof belongs to God. If you can't submit, you don't have to get up out of here. Don't be afraid to anoint your doorpost. Don't be afraid to anoint your bed. Every devil and demon that's trying to come against your house, it has to die today. Hallelujah. Great victory he had out in the streets. He had Facebook success, Instagram followers.
I know that's right.
But when he went home, it was a totally different story.
Come on now.
So they began to cry.
My God.
Begin to consider we need to kill him. Be careful. Y'all sit down. You ain't gonna like this one.
Go ahead, Mom.
Be careful of people who can celebrate
Come on now.
when you win,
Come on now.
but can't
Come on.
offer advice when you lose.
Come on now.
God needs public loss.
Yeah.
My God.
You just can't keep losing behind closed doors.
Come on, Apostle.
You need to lose publicly.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Certain things need to be seen. Certain things need to be exposed.
Yes.
It's the lithium test of certain relationships in your life. It's the way that God exposes to you. That they was at the house, y'all complimented each other and it was all good. But as soon as your money dried up, did you watch their behavior? As soon as the car got picked up, did you see how they acted? As soon as the house got foreclosed, did you see their behavior? They didn't want to deal with you anymore. And you've been tolerating them because of that loneliness demon that you've been dealing with. See, most of the stuff you've been tolerating, you've been just dealing with it. But God's trying to expose to you that some of these people in your circle don't mean you no good. They don't mean you no good at all. And God will make your life a written or open epistle, read of all men. You won't be able just to win in public and then suffer behind closed doors. God's going to have a balancing act in your life. And the confusing thing is going to be this, that when you win and you happy and you lose and you happy, they ain't going to be able to figure you out. They ain't going to understand why she's still going to church, why she's still praising, why she's still lifting her hands. I thought that last blow was hard enough to take them out, but I heard her say and one. I heard her say she made the bucket and to get a breakthrough. I don't know about you today. You need courage to continue. You need courage to persevere. You need courage to follow through. Press your way, push your way, even from a low place, and get what God has for your life. You people will go that merry-go-round with you.
And that's the truth.
It's good. We all excited.
Things going good.
Let things slow down.
Come on now.
You know, it's kind of different. You need people that's going to have some stamina. That's going to be there with you. Come thick or thin.
That's right.
David realized that they were about to stone him. He said, bring me my worship wardrobe. I can throw it. He said, bring me my worship outfit. Because I ain't got nobody else to turn to but the God that I serve. I'm assigned to lead these people. And the people that I've been assigned to lead have now turned on me. And listen, here's the crazy thing. They turned on me, but I got to go to God to go get their stuff.
Hey!
Come on, Paul.
I gotta go seek the face of God because I'm a leader. Because I've been graced to govern. I gotta seek God on behalf of the person that betrayed me. This little stuff you call an anointing ain't anointing. This little fluffy, little Mickey Mouse gospel that you've been following behind on YouTube. You've been paying registrations for stuff. And you ain't built tougher than a baby's bottle. You need to begin to posture yourself and say, God, give me your anointing that my enemy becomes my ally. I feel like preaching to somebody that lets you know and reminds you that you've been blessed for the betrayal. You've been anointed for the agony. God has an assignment on your life to bring you to a place that you're going to sit at a table and he's going to decorate and whip your enemy on the other side. I feel glory in this place. I don't understand it. I thought my anointing was to preach good. I thought my anointing was to prophesy. I didn't know you anointed me for my opponent. You anointed me for my adversary. With the knife in my back, with my name being slanderized. I'm going to get for me and you, and you. Here it is. I'm almost done. The Bible declares. David said, God, can I pursue and go get what was stolen? Here's the crazy thing, because sometimes our prayers are so jacked up. He said, can I go get it? Can I go pursue this raiding party? And I don't want to just go and pursue them, but will I be able to overtake them? Because your prayers have been so partial. You just wanted to come out. But you don't understand, coming out was just the Red Sea experience. But you got 40 years of wilderness if your prayers ain't right. You need to pray to come out. And God, when you take me out, take me on up in that place. I mean, listen to me. Y'all got to understand that God will give you exactly what you ask for. And because your prayers have been limited, the blessing has been limited. Because your intercession has been limited, the output has been limited. But God's about to open up the floodgates of heaven, and he's not going to just put it on your articulation, he's going to put it on your praise. When David began to entreat and seek the face of God, God gave him the answer to the strategy, and he says, not only can you go get it, but you are going to bring everything back and everyone back. And listen to me, here's the crazy part of it all. David knew, because they were about that he couldn't take everybody with him. Hey, you think you got this SUV third row seat anointing? You got a bicycle anointing. Everybody cannot go with you where God is trying to take you. You're trying to put people in the bar and got them all on the back holding you. God's trying to alleviate certain people who are not assigned to your victory, not assigned to your tomorrow, and you're afraid to go alone. I don't care how you gotta go get it. I don't care what you gotta do. You need courage to continue. And if you gotta go by yourself, go alone. If you gotta walk by yourself, walk alone. If you gotta lift your hands and praise by yourself, praise the Lord. God said, I'll never leave you or forsake you. You can take up wings and fly off into the uttermost parts of the earth, and I'll be right there with you. Open your mouth today, because the rescue is guaranteed. The victory is guaranteed. But you gotta go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Continue. 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 Go get what's rightfully yours today. You've been held back long enough. You've been on pause long enough. You've been restricted long enough. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Open your mouth and give God a praise. Lift your hands in this place. Take the next 60 seconds. Let your prayer life give you courage. Give me courage. I need courage to continue. I've been asking the wrong people, and they've been giving me the wrong advice. I need courage to continue. I need courage to persevere. I need courage to overtake. I need courage to keep going. Come on, a continuation of all that is about to hit this room.